Uganda, just like many other African governments, has signed onto frameworks like CAADP, the Maputo and Abuja Declarations, pledging to allocate specific portions of the national budget to critical areas like health, education and agriculture. Yet, just like in the previous years, this budget has fallen short. We spoke to experts to understand why these pledges remain unmet.
The case is we don't have the money to allocate. The fact that Uganda signed is because you are part of the global template. It could be a UN ambition. And we usually call it an ambition. It's an outline of a plan that anybody would say, I wish I had money, I could do the following. So these are global templates as guidance. But the realities on the ground have got to come through what money do I have and what obligation do I have.
Out of the 72 trillion shillings, 26.83 trillion, which is 37.2%, will be going to debt servicing. And this is why critical sectors like health, agriculture and education are still getting below their committed to portions. In this budget, health has been allocated 5.87 trillion shillings, education 5.4 trillion shillings, and social protection 404.9 billion shillings, all still below the targets set in the mission international commitments.
They are going to tell you we have money here, we have money this side, and they are all contributing to the agricultural sector. And when they calculate that money, you find that they are surpassing the 10%. But the issue is, are those development, they call it ministries, departments and agencies, really deliver to the objectives of the sector?
For example, UPE schools, the money allocated per student, it was previously something like 8,000. Officially, they increased it to 20,000 per child per annum. But up to now, we haven't fully realized that. So 20,000 shillings, what can it do in order for you to celebrate and say, we have allocated enough money to increase free education? That one is not yet realistic.
At least there are those that are trying. You see countries like Rwanda. Rwanda has really done so well. Allocate like 6, something like that. But for us, we have never even gone beyond 5. So that defeats every time we go for those meetings and we commit, we shall have 15% in health, have 10% in agriculture, but back home, when we plan, it doesn't come out well. That means maybe, I don't want to say we are wasting time, because those are also important platforms, but I think we need to really pull up our stockings when it comes to financing these sectors that we feel are so critical to our people.
Some economists, however, suggest a revision of these ambitious targets since they continuously remain unmet.
And it will be good for them to actually say, in light of what has transpired, let us revise our aspirations of 20 years ago. Because some of these things were put out there 20 years ago. Countries were not what they are today. A lot has happened. Even we have seen the Europeans who had pledged to give a certain percentage under overseas development assistance, cutting their own.
Another key commitment is around climate change adaptation, where Uganda is expected to commit 30% of its national resources to fund climate change actions, with 70% expected to come from international resources. Rana Habwe, NTV Tonight.